it's just kind of weird because I had such a thing for him. And honestly, as hard as I try to forget him, sometimes I think that if he turned around and said he wanted to try again, I wouldn't be able to say no.
Dang. Now tell me how you really feel.
Not good. Not at all.
We're having a small party here next Saturday. You're coming. I forgot to tell you, he's actually coming over tonight, and he's bringing his roommate Noah.
How are we?
Don't catch feelings for Noah.
You must be Emma. I've heard a lot about you.
And you must be Noah.
But you can never tell Ben. We were actually just talking about you.
All good things?
All good things.
What have you ladies been up to all night?
I'm guessing drinking.
You're telling me that Mamma Mia has a better love story than Legally Blonde?
Noah and Emma are sure hitting it off.
Yeah?
Does it bother you that Noah and Emma have been getting along?
So, am I seeing you next weekend?
Maybe.
Welcome to Inside the Artist's Mind with your hosts, Jay Harmon and Sally Barnard. Jay and Sally have always wondered what the inspiration is that drives others to create and express their art. Inside the Artist's Mind will dive into the mind of the artist and teach us more than we ever knew. Enjoy the show.
Hi there, and welcome to Inside the Artist's Mind. And my name is Jay Harmon, and this is Sally Barnard, my co-host here, and we are very excited today that if you just watched the trailer for a new upcoming movie that was made by our special guest today, who is Grace Burns, and she is a director and editor and writer and everything for the movies, and this looks very exciting.
Some amazing ladies sitting here. There we go.
Yeah, you just saw Peach Wine. That was my first big production that I've ever done. I've done a couple others for school, but that's the biggest job I've taken on. That one was a year to make.
Wow.
Yeah, I wrote it, directed it, and then we're pushing it out right now. But
Beautiful, yeah.
had a huge
And I've
team.
known you a little while, Grace, but I did not know this about you, so it's really interesting. It's very interesting for me to
Right.
see that.
Thank
yes,
you.
yes, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't talk about it a lot. Like, everybody here was involved, not like in making it, but a couple people that have worked here. Like my assistant director had worked here, and then my cinematographer had worked here. I met them through school, but yeah, it's my little hidden thing.
So
Oh, that's great.
I was going to ask you, have you been doing this type of thing since you were a child? Were you always interested, or is it something that came a little later on? Not
So-
that you're that old.
I did community theater from 4th grade, and then I did dance, I did instruments, I did choir, all throughout from like 4th grade on.
So you're well-rounded in theater then.
Yeah, so I didn't start I wanted to go to school for musical theater, but then I realized that film is a little bit more practical. So, and then as I got into film more, I realized that film encompasses so many different things, and I can use all my like little interests and all the other arts in film, and it all wraps together. So I now have a bachelor's in film, and I was going to do commercials, like making commercials for companies, and then I made Peach Wine, so we're gonna see where that goes.
And we're very glad you did, because it seems
Thank
really,
you.
really interesting.
Yes. Now,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your educational background here. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So, I did choir and theater all through all of my school, And then high school, I actually won a bunch of awards for choir and theater and instruments. And then in college, I have my bachelor's of arts in film, and then I actually picked up a second bachelor's, and I have a bachelor's of business admin in marketing, which I will be finishing in August. Fingers crossed.
I need to say congratulations.
Thank you
That's
so
Yeah,
much.
congratulations. And you did it in how long?
I did it in 3 years. I did
That's
2
amazing.
bachelor's degrees in 3 years.
Is that great?
Isn't
I mean,
that
this
amazing?
is wonderful.
Isn't it
I need a
great?
nap.
It's amazing.
You
Yeah,
know,
I'm
what,
so happy that you're a guest on our show today.
Thank you
It's
so
so
much.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I never realized how much the two had in common until I did it simultaneously. And in film school, they always teach you about, yes, you can make film, but it doesn't matter if no one perceives it. So they always teach you to look back on everything that you make and every single second on the screen and see how someone
It's
else
just
would
kind of
reflect
weird
on
because
it.
I had such a thing.
How someone else would see that and take it. But then marketing's the exact same. So you go through consumer behavior and what motivates people to purchase things and how closely film and marketing are related.
And it makes sense when you explain it that way. You see that. You wouldn't ordinarily think about something like that. But
Right.
having
Yeah.
listened
Right.
to you and what you're saying, it kind of all fits together.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
the
yeah.
business of entertainment in itself
Yeah.
is a whole beast. And when
Yeah.
you can really wrap your head around what makes people buy things is the same as what makes people watch things and pay for movie tickets and pay for that kind of stuff.
Because
it's a
you
whole
can't
world.
really break the chain. It's one after another. It goes in a certain chain. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly. It's a crazy
Yeah, yeah.
world of
Which I
entertainment.
wanted to actually say, we were talking about that. Our show, we say artists in mind of an artist. And
Yeah.
of
Right.
course, an artist incorporates everything
Yeah.
that you're doing. You're an artist.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
There are many
So
kinds
many,
of artists,
many.
but this
Yeah,
is
yes, yeah.
this is one of the great kinds
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Yeah.
everybody that I know loves TV or movies or
Right.
something, and what do they like? Everybody likes something different.
Exactly.
You know,
it's
they're-
up to everyone's preference on what kind of
Exactly,
TV they
yeah. And
like.
what one
Yeah.
person's like
So-
is different. Somebody else is
So you have to,
Exactly.
you kind of have to find a niche
Right.
that you can center on.
Yeah. I enjoy the cheesy 90s rom-com like The Notebook and what's Crazy Stupid Love with Steve Carell. That's what my movie is based off of. Mine's a mix of The Notebook, Crazy Stupid Love, and
yeah?
the TV show Friends.
Oh, that's,
And
my
then
goodness,
I
that's
see
neat,
with the
yeah.
wine in it, it
Yeah, now
made me think of the movie Sideways. You know,
Yeah.
that was another one that was about
Right.
wine, and
Yeah. So I'm not gonna spoil anything, but basically Peach Wine covers 4 friends, and they're all connected in different ways. And it really is. It's a character piece. It takes place in one location, in one day. Oh, I guess it's split up over 2 days. But there's some clips from it.
Yes, I was just going to say, I looked up, yes.
That's
Yeah, yeah,
2 of our main characters, and then those are
Right,
the other
right,
2.
Right.
I wrote Peach Wine to be the story that doesn't end until you're in the car home.
How
so
long did it take you to
How-
write?
So I started it as a class project. So I wrote the 5-minute version in 2 weeks because that's how long in film school you get to write.
Okay.
And then I came up with the baseline of it. And then around May, around this time last year, I was already writing the longer part. So it probably took about 2 months to write the long version,
Right.
but I already knew that I wanted to make it, so I already knew what I was gonna do.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Um,
right.
So basically, there's 4 characters.
Yes, there's
in this. So you had to kind of flesh each one out as
Right.
a different person and how their relationships kind of went together and
Yeah.
everything. That had to be kind
interesting.
of fun.
Yeah.
some are dating, some are best friends, some are childhood best friends, some are roommates, and
And they're different personalities when
Right.
they come about. Yeah.
so when I wrote it, I didn't want there
Yeah.
to be a clear protagonist and antagonist.
Uh-huh.
It has its own storyline, and every person has their own storyline
Okay.
that we follow throughout
Right.
the film.
Okay.
So at the premiere, we did a little, like, we called it a premiere, but it was really our screen test before we could send it to festivals. So we had our festivals, and we had our screen test, and we all got to invite our friends and family. It was at the Movies of Delray, AMP TV Network. Those are our 4 characters.
Yeah.
AMP Network let us borrow their Step and Repeat, and it was such a fun event. We had the red carpet and everything. But there is no clear bad guy. So at the end of the movie, because every single one of them does something not great.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's arguable who's the bad guy.
Right.
So we had like a poll.
Yeah.
And it was so divided. Like, everyone was like, this person was right, or like, this person was so wrong, or they shouldn't have done that, or this was whatever. And people got really like heated about it.
They really, really got into it.
Really getting into it.
Yeah.
So, what would you categorize this as, a rom-com, or?
Yeah, I made it as a romantic comedy, because it is funny. Like, it's lighthearted, but there are some like romantic drama parts. It gets kind of heated. All sorts of stuff. It's like secrets get unveiled throughout the thing, and some people find out about the secrets, and then they get mad and then hide the secret that they know the secret, and it's a big mess.
That's so fascinating.
Yeah.
But then you add wine on top of it, and I
that
always
even
say,
makes
like,
it more interesting, right? Yeah.
The tagline is like, you add alcohol to an old flame.
Okay, right.
Oh, I like that.
Well,
That's very good.
So like, some people
I
forget.
feel like we've really got to know you now.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is what I do at night. I'm
That's
just like
beautiful.
scheming little
that's lovely.
script plots.
Lovely. Yeah.
Do you have any other scripts that you have in mind, or that you're working on, or?
I have a couple. Yeah, I'm working. A couple of people asked me to co-direct some stuff and co-write some things, so I'm working on that. I don't have another project as big as Peach Wine coming up anytime soon. Peach Wine took a year to make.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I can hear the next door people.
I know.
Oh, I know. They
That's
have
okay.
music.
It's like a background noise.
It's very,
Yeah.
very
okay.
dramatic sometimes.
Yeah.
It is. I have that on my show sometimes, but we'll cut it.
Peach Wine took a year to make, and I was saying I was doing Peach Wine on top of the 2 degrees and working full time. Yeah, so I was like, I need a break.
Yeah.
I can't do anything as big as Peach Wine yet, but I am working on co-writing some stuff with other people, and I have a couple ideas, but I'm not ready to make them quite yet. I'm trying to graduate first, and then work on
once you
some
get that
films.
behind you, then you're.
Yes,
Once
yes.
I have school
But
out of
it's
the way.
exciting. I mean, it's lovely
Yeah.
knowing that you've already got one behind you, and then you're going to create another one. That's beautiful, Grace.
Thank you. Yeah,
Beautiful, yes.
we're waiting to hear back from a couple more film festivals. We've gotten into 5 film
Okay.
festivals so far.
Oh,
They
wow.
have all been virtual film festivals. We're waiting to hear back from a couple more. And then I would like to try and make it into a full series. Like a limited series with like 8 or so
From what
episodes.
you're telling me,
okay.
we
You
don't
mean-
know too much about it, but
You
it
mean
Yeah.
would
with,
make it
with
very
the 4
interesting,
characters
right?
in a thing like Friends or something?
Yes,
or
Yeah, I was
exactly.
just going to say that
Yeah.
too.
It's a mix of like Friends and Crazy Stupid Love.
Especially as you're getting so many people involved with the characters,
Right.
And they'll probably they go home and they go to bed at night and
Yeah.
they'll think about it and say, "Oh, I wonder what they're doing today."
Yeah.
So the series is definitely should be in the making.
Oh, that
Yeah.
does sound really neat.
Yeah, I'm
Interesting.
starting to write it and like lay it all out, but I have been taking a second to breathe
No,
and
you
waiting for
should
the
do
film
that. Yeah,
festivals. But
absolutely.
I know where I want it to go. I know the outline of how I want the story to go. I just haven't sat down and done the nitty gritty
Right.
verbiage of it yet.
So where do you find you get your inspiration from?
Real life.
Yes. I was
I am definite. Oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
no, not at all. I was waiting for your answer.
I definitely sit and I watch like people and interactions with people, and I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if, or like, wouldn't it be crazy if this person said this right now? Like, what would happen? Or I would like, I look at real life people and I go, what would happen if this person was put in this situation? And then like something comes of it, but I make my characters off of real people,
Yeah.
like character traits that I see in people, or other stuff, and like situations that I've either experienced myself or like my friends have had, and I just mix and scheme, and I feel like a witch in my little cauldron making stories. Like I take a little from here, a little from here.
This is the artistic part.
Yes, it is. The creative part.
Yeah,
This is
very
what
creative.
the
You have to have that mindset. I mean, not everybody
Yeah.
can do what you're doing.
sure. It comes from all this creativity that,
Yeah.
that's going on here and bringing it all together.
Yeah.
It's just like art. I mean, art. I mean, visual art.
Yeah.
You know,
Visual art, yes,
visual
that's
art.
a perfect-
And what you're doing here with.
So I think we need to be
film
very
and-
careful because we might be part of your next
Oh,
character.
no one is safe. No one is safe.
I mean, especially with me in the show I have here. I'd make a good character.
You would make a pretty good
I have a
character.
show on a Monday.
Yeah.
That gives me
Yeah,
ideas,
I have to
Sally.
watch my words as we go a little bit, right?
I don't ever want to like call anyone out.
I'm going to look
And-
at you differently now, Grace.
Yeah.
No, I never
I'm
want to
just
like
joking.
embarrass
I'm not-
anyone,
no,
but I
I'm
do
just
take
joking.
like
You-
personality
You
traits.
can use my personality.
Thank
that's
you.
fine. I give you permission. It's going out of me.
Thank you. Yeah. No, but I definitely look at people's personality traits, and I'll combine people. Like if I take this trait from this person and this trait from this person, and I combine them to make a new person, how would that person react to things, and what kind
So
of crazy
interesting.
situations
Isn't
can I
it?
put that mix of a human
Yeah.
into?
So
And-
you're creating human beings.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
With different personalities.
I'm like
That's
Frankensteining
amazing. I never
people
really-
and then making them
don't
do
think
absurd
about that.
things.
That's pretty interesting, yeah, and it wouldn't necessarily mean that you had to have two girl personalities. It could be, I mean, it could be
Yeah, it could be
combined any way
anyone.
you want to, right? I mean, when
Yeah. So in Peach Wine, I have like one of the guys is extremely in love with his girlfriend. And that's his whole personality.
Right.
He's just so blinded by the love of his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then I have another character who's curious, and she likes to poke the bear a little bit. And then I have another one who's very full of themselves, and they
Yeah.
think they are the coolest thing to walk the planet. And then I have another one who just loves gossip a little too much. So you put the one that loves gossip and the one that's a little too curious and likes to poke the bear, and then they kind of like start a flame, and it all blows up in their faces.
This is so fascinating, really fascinating,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it gives us a different way to look at when I'm looking at movies now. You know,
Yeah.
it opens your mind up a little bit.
Uh-huh,
more.
yeah.
that's
The personalities
yeah.
of each
Yeah.
character.
We're watching a series on TV right now. I think it's on Netflix, and there's one character in that. He's so mean, but
Yeah.
it's consistent all the way through. And now
Yeah.
I'm seeing that. Yeah, somebody
yeah.
figured that out.
And then you can have like character arcs, and the mean character slowly changes throughout time and
over time.
creates
Yes,
a different
yes,
trait, and they
yes.
don't. And it's like, do they still have
Yeah.
the mean streak,
Yeah.
or have they
I can,
changed?
I can,
Really fascinating.
I can relate to this a little bit. I'll let out a little secret here. I watch soap opera.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
And
love soap operas.
And so, the characters on those shows are so well defined
Yeah.
that you really get to know the character, and either you hate the character or you love the character,
Right.
or whatever. And sometimes the characters can change a little bit. They can go from bad to better.
Right.
And
yeah, that's fascinating because in the show that I was just mentioning, I noticed and I said to Steve, he's getting a little bit nicer.
Right.
It's like you're really engrossed with
yeah,
this, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah, and you kind of root for him to get
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, and
You
it's-
the anti-hero. That's
Yeah.
when the
and
bad
this
guy
is what
turns
you're
good.
creating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely creating
And I-
characters. That's
Right,
amazing.
right.
And I take kind of like my marketing background, and I think like, how can I manipulate this thing on screen to manipulate the viewers? Because
Right.
I want them to feel a certain way.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, how can I tweak this the tiniest bit to make them
Right.
start to feel like this person has potential, or this person
Right.
is the bad guy? And that's what I did with Peach Wine. So like every character has one really good thing for them and then one really bad thing for them.
Oh, really?
But
Yeah.
everything that I had them do was arguable. So nothing is black and white. Like nothing is like, this is cut, this is wrong, they shouldn't have done this. So everybody kind of grows familiar with a character and like preferences a
Yeah,
character.
just not to interrupt you, because
no.
I find this really fascinating.
Yeah.
So the person that might be arguing might be of a nicer character than the one that you've created. So
Right,
the
but they're
argument
all nice.
would go into it. It would take a different tone with
Right.
that. Yeah, I can see
But
that.
they don't
absolutely.
agree on everything, though.
No.
No.
None. So every character, everybody can relate to at least one character, because I did very like basic human emotions of like envy, greed, and pride, curious, like not so much curiousness, but
Jealousy?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they're all very basic emotions, but they're very subtle and very slight. So the audience is going to relate to one more than the other, and they're going to think the rest of them are bad. And to hear, so at our screen test, I had everybody like vote who was the bad guy, and it was very even. Like everybody had arguments for every character, who they liked, who they didn't like, and we did a after party at Fat Cats in Meisner, and I had so many people come up to me and be like, Noah's the bad guy, or Ava's the bad guy, or Ava did this
Yeah.
wrong. The characters are Noah, Emma, Ava, Ben.
Okay.
And they came up to me and they were like, why would he do this? And what is
It's
this?
Because they're more or less like your friends at this point.
Right.
You
They
know
do.
them.
You become like you know them.
You know
Yes.
them. I mean, people I'm sure even dream about.
Yeah,
them.
and that's the way it is
No.
with
It's-
good
it's-
with
it's
good
gotta be done.
television or
Yes, absolutely.
anything like that, because
I
you
know.
relate to the
Yeah,
characters
yeah.
and you think, you know,
That's
God,
Absolutely
a behind the
do.
scenes
Oh,
from our
okay.
filming. So that girl plays Emma, and we have so many behind the scenes pictures. It's so funny. Oh, that's me directing.
That's you, yes, yeah.
You can tell I make that
When
motion
you
all
were
the time.
picking out the people, did you kind of take in their own personalities a
Yeah.
little bit? Right. Yeah, I can see that too, Grace. Yeah.
There wasn't many people who auditioned, but everybody who auditioned fit perfectly. I didn't have to mold them at all. They all
Right.
fit right into perfect place. And the funniest part about it, so the two of them that are a couple, they sent in their what's it called? They sent in their screen audition
Right.
first, and I loved them both, and I knew exactly where I was going to put them, and I
Yeah.
called them in, and we did the chemistry test, which is where you put your characters together to see
Right.
who the chemistry. And I was like, they had to hug. The couple
Right.
had to hug.
Yeah.
And these two hugged, and the chemistry was so crazy. Me, my executive producer, and my assistant director all looked at each other and went, oh my God.
Yeah.
So their chemistry was crazy. So obviously, before you hire someone, you stalk them on social media.
and they didn't really know each other before.
No, they were
right?
dating.
Oh, they were dating.
dating.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
they
well,
were
that,
a,
okay.
a real life
Because
couple.
that can actually happen when
Yeah.
they're not. They might just meet each other. You can't explain chemistry.
Yeah,
No.
because you hear so often that characters in a film.
It was those
you
two.
know, they're okay.
Oh,
They're a real life couple, and I didn't know until like
Yeah.
a month into
Know that,
rehearsal.
But you
That-
recognize that chemistry.
But
Yeah.
but you see that you know, characters in a film or actors who are working together doing romance and doing all this stuff behind the scenes hate each other.
Right.
And
Yes, that's-
you know, but they're actors, and so
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
It's their
this is-
job, yeah.
This is what they do.
But those two, yeah, we were
So that was
searching
a-
them up, and we saw pictures of each other on their social medias, and we're like, are they dating? And in real life, we found out they were dating, and I was like, okay, now kiss. Like, I can make you kiss now.
They didn't tell you right away.
No, I
okay.
don't-
But
the-
the good
yeah.
thing is you recognize that.
Oh
No,
yeah. Their chemistry was amazing, and then I found out later they're a real life couple. So I'm
Right,
like,
right,
that
right.
that makes
Makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah.
But like, all of the characters had such good chemistry together, and I was saying a little bit off camera. We rehearsed at night, so all of us are students. All of us have jobs. And then our set that we used was actually the house of one of the main characters, and his mom worked nights. So we had to take what we can get, and we were so privileged because most of the time in films you don't get to rehearse on the set that you're going to use.
Right.
So you get to block it all out
Right,
beforehand, which makes
right.
production go so much smoother. But we rehearsed for like 2 months straight, 3 days a week at night. So I had these poor people come in at like 10 o'clock at night after they got off shifts. Like some of them worked at like Starbucks, so they had their Starbucks uniforms on. And
Yeah.
one of them worked at a gym, so he was all hot and sweaty all the time. And they gave it 110%, but we got a little delirious. Like at points, everyone was
Good
so
shows,
tired.
yeah,
No one was
right,
sleeping.
Right, right.
because
Yeah.
we would all have to get up and go to class
Yeah,
at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
and then work all day, come, and then go straight to
I'm happy
rehearsal.
you're talking about this because people don't realize what goes on
Oh,
literally
no.
behind the scenes,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
So this is really, really interesting. I'm finding it fascinating. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
And
this
you
is.
just see it, and we've got the end product. and
Yeah.
It's either good or it isn't. This sounds amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
does.
Every single person in the whole cast and crew, there was 11 of us total, put their 110% in.
Yeah.
And we made this like pilot, of course, to like try to sell it and that kind of stuff, but we all just wanted something that we were really proud of. And we were like, we all want to bring our A games, and that when we go to get real jobs, we have something that we could be like, I
Right.
made this. This is what I can do. This is the best of what I've got. So every single person,
Had an incentive,
right,
basically.
to bring their best and to do everything that they could. And everybody tried so hard, and it came out fantastic.
It's going to show.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
that-
Without
that's
seeing
great
that,
if you-
I
Yeah.
know it's definitely showing.
Yeah, like I
Obviously.
cannot take credit for everything that went
Yeah.
on, because if it wasn't for the other 10
It's all a piece
amazing
of a
people,
puzzle. You
Yeah.
all
Right.
make the
So,
puzzle, right?
but you
Right.
have to have that with everybody working together. You can't have
Yeah,
one
right.
person who's just kind of over here, because
Yeah.
everybody has to work together.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And we had people. We did have one girl fall asleep on set one time because it was so
Tired,
late.
I'm sure,
Yeah, she was so
right.
tired.
Yeah.
But everybody was delirious. Everyone was so tired, but still everybody brought their A game all the time.
Uh-huh.
That's amazing. I can't wait to see it.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm hope it should be through festival season in December, and then I'm gonna try to put it on a streaming service. So what you do is you take the pilot and you're like, this is the first episode. Pay me to make more. Is ideally what you say to the
Right,
big
right,
streaming
right,
services. So I'm
right.
trying to get a producer to
Right.
pay for the series, but we'll see what happens. I have to
Well,
wait
I
until
wish
the end
you
of festival
all,
season. Thank
best
you.
of luck, I guess we'll call
yeah.
it, because it sounds incredible.
It
Grace.
does.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
happy that we had Grace on today to do the interview.
Yeah.
I
Thank you for
certainly
inviting me.
see
Yeah,
behind
well,
the scenes, I've
You know,
certainly
just
learned a little
good luck
bit.
with this, and we'll be, very interested to hear what happens, and
Yeah.
Thank
we'll,
you.
maybe
Stay
later on
tuned.
have you
Yeah.
have
I
you
was just
back
gonna
again
s-
to talk
yeah,
about
yeah.
your next project.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'd love to.
absolutely.
I have a couple in the works. Nothing is like set yet. I just signed the NDA for one of them, so that one is final. But we'll see what happens.
Beautiful.
I don't know.
So viewers, remember her name, Grace Burns.
Thank
right?
you,
There we
yeah.
go.
Yeah.
You
There we
can-
go, yeah.
On the screen, there's a link for the Peach Wine Instagram. You can go to my Instagram, which is just Grace Kathleen Burns, and you can email me about inquiries at gracekathleenburns@gmail.com.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much for
you.
having
Thank
me.
you, thank you. This
Very
was
interesting,
this was
wasn't it?
great, and
Yeah.
so we hope you enjoyed today's program. We gave you a little bit of an insight into this part of the art of producing films, and we hope that you will join us again next time. And again, I'm Jay Harmon, and this is Sally Barnard, and this is Inside the Artist's Mind. Have a wonderful day.
Hi, we'll
It's
see you
just
next
kind of
week.
weird because I had such a thing for him. And honestly, as hard as I try to forget him, sometimes I think that if he turned around and said he wanted to try again, I wouldn't be able to say no.
Dang. Now tell me how you really feel.
Not good. Not at all.
We're having a small party here next Saturday. You're coming. I forgot to tell you, he's actually coming over tonight, and he's bringing his roommate Noah.
How are we?
Don't catch feelings for Noah.
You must be Emma. I've heard a lot about you.
And you must be Noah.
But you can never tell Ben. We were actually just talking about you.
All good things?
All good things.
What have you ladies been up to all night?
I'm guessing drinking.
You're telling me that Mamma Mia has a better love story than Legally Blonde.
Noah and Emma are sure hitting it off.
Yeah?
Does it bother you that Noah and Emma have been getting along?
So, am I seeing you next weekend?
Maybe.
Thank you for watching Inside the Artist's Mind. We hope you enjoyed the show. Tune in next week as we explore more about the artist's passions and inspirations.